I was immediately sent for a mammogram, an ultrasound, and an MRI. I was sent for a breast biopsy where something that sounded exactly like a staple gun was punctured through my breast, removing 5 specimens that were sent for testing. The thing that punctured through my breast was a needle with a little hook on the end. Unfortunately, the staple gun malfunctioned that day. So it took exactly 11 punctures wounds to get 5 specimens. And I mentioned I didn't like needles. On August 29th, we got the dreaded news. I had stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma breast cancer. It was all new to me. On October 2nd, I had a lumpectomy and breast reduction. 2 months later, a catheter port was inserted in my chest, which unfortunately didn't work, causing me to develop a blood clot on Christmas Eve. The port was removed, and then ever since then I've been sticking blood thinner needles into my belly on a daily basis. In the meantime, a PICC line was inserted in my arm instead of a port, but as luck would have it, my body rejected it as well, and another one had to be inserted. Can't remember if I mentioned not liking needles. November, I started 6 rounds of chemotherapy. They were set for every 3 weeks, and the day before each treatment, I had to have blood work done, which involved a needle. My hair started falling out exactly 13 days after my first chemo. Every day, I lost more and more of it. The day we started finding hair in our food, we decided it was time. Fully clothed, I sat in the bathtub, while my daughters took turns shaving my head while her friend took photos and videotaped the event. On chemo number 4 of 6, I sent to my baby brother a text message telling him that I couldn't go on any further. I consider myself a fairly tough person, but I'll have to be honest with you and say that I'm quite sure that's the closest I've ever been to hell. Pain was something I had never felt before. I was in bed for 2 days straight. Couldn't get up and down the stairs. I didn't eat for a day and a half, which is pretty much unheard of for me. I was taking the type of pain meds that could easily be sold on the streets for $40 a pill, and they weren't even touching the pain. My little brother convinced me to fight I did. My last chemo was March 3rd. Then I started daily radiation treatments for 30 days straight, which ended in May. Currently, I'm still on Herceptin treatment, will be for another 11 months. This week, I began taking tamoxifen, which I'll be on for the next 1,825 days, which I prefer to say 5 years because it sounds a little better. When I first got the diagnosis, I was naturally devastated. I was scared to death, worried for my kids, worried for my family and my husband. I was only 45. I was angry too, just couldn't understand how I got it. Second youngest of 6 in the family, and I developed breast cancer. What did I do to deserve it? What did I do to cause it? Or karma kept circling my mind, and I remember saying, why? I began telling family and friends. My dad was the worst to tell. Through it all, I really didn't cry much, at least during the day. But for about the first 2 months, I went to bed every night of the week and cried for at least 10 minutes. I sobbed. But through it all, I laughed. I used humor and a positive mental attitude to get me through the weeks and months that followed. Don't get me wrong. I've had my share of brutal days when I just didn't want to get out of bed. Some days I didn't, and other days I couldn't. One of the worst things that happened, though, was that I could no longer drink coffee. It's all perspective. It was the worst thing ever. And chocolate, it was horrible. It tasted like salt. 2 of my favorite things. All things to curse me with, but I always tried to see the good in things, and maybe even learn a lesson or 2 along the way. There were good things about it, like not having to shave my legs and armpits. And then it only took 2 minutes to get my hair done in the morning, and another 1 minute to put my makeup on. And I'll admit that I totally used my bald head to get out of the seatbelt fine, and it worked. I love food. I love cooking. I love shopping for food. My name's Lorraine, and I'm a junk food addict. Or I'm a food junkie, sorry. As long as I can remember, I've had a weight problem, and I would sometimes joke saying the only way I would ever lose weight was pretty much slip So I thought this chemo thing might be the next best thing. I had huge hopes for chemo. I thought to myself, if I've got to do it, there's got to be something I can get out of it. I'll get so nauseated that I won't eat for days and lose tons of weight, but no such luck. As luck would have it,